All right. I think we are live. Can you tell, Jim? Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Greetings, everybody. This is Brian Terrian with Philip Price, Daphne Graff, and of course, Jam is here
Hi.
today for our YouTube live session. Thanks for joining. Today, we are going to show you or talk to you about 5 different ways to maximize your Social Security disability benefits. Philip and Daphne have been helping individuals for years with their disability benefits and have a wealth of information. So thank you in advance, you two, for showing up. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to take some questions that Jam will help us out with. And then we'll give you some other tips on how you can further maximize your benefits. So first of all, for those of you listening, regardless if you are, trying to find housing and looking for money to do that, or you're looking to supplement your Social Security disability income, if you're looking for money in any way, this is the time of year, and this event is geared towards doing that. We're going to go through the different benefits that you're entitled to, some of the common things to look for, pitfalls to avoid, and then something we have never done before at the end. We're going to give you some tips on how to significantly reduce or eliminate the cost of expensive medication. So that sounds like pretty much everything we're going to cover, right, folks?
Yes.
Yes.
And then again, Daphne or Jam will take some questions at the end. So the first thing I want to go through is there's some of you that always come here and you're looking to get your disability benefits approved. So I want to spend a few moments to go over the basics with you. And then we can give you some directions on how you can find out more about the work that we do to help you get approved. Before I get into that, though, here at the Disability Digest, we do these events most Wednesdays. And this and the other videos that we put out are really targeted towards helping you do 3 things. And I'm looking over at my other screen there because that's what I'm going to put up and show you folks. Our goal is to help you get your disability benefits approved fast. That's one thing. And then once you get them approved, we work with you to help you keep them, prevent you from getting an overpayment charge or continuing disability review. We help you survive those. So that's the second category. And the third thing we do is we help you maximize your benefits, which is the majority of today's program. So if you look on my screen right here, you'll see this is our YouTube channel that you've likely found this event from. And there's 686 different videos that we've put out to help you do just that. And for a customized approach, the way that we can best help you is to have you join us as a member or update your membership with us. There's no charge for your membership. You simply go to the disabilitydigest.com. There'll be a link around this video or this replay, and you can complete your profile or update your profile. And that helps us understand what you're concerned about, where you're at in the process and how we can help you, so that you don't have to search through 686 videos to find what you're looking for. You get a laser approach to doing it. One other tip I want to share with you is, if you're a YouTube subscriber, if you're not, we invite you to do so, is there's a notify me button for these live events, and they're usually put up on Monday. So you can just hit that on Monday when the Monday video comes out, so that you are tuned in to what's going on here. All right. So for as far as getting approved, I want to go through my my visual aid here that, Jam, at some point in time, I'm going to have you make this look a little better. But for those of you that are getting approved, or for those of you that already have your benefits and might be concerned about losing your benefits because of a continuing disability review. This is what you need to focus on to get your benefits approved and to keep them. And I put it in this little triangular visual aid I call the bottom line. So if you focus on the bottom left, you'll see there's a start button there. The first thing for qualifying for your disability benefits is you need to have conditions that are diagnosed by a doctor, right? So that's the bottom left. And then you'll see the arrow goes to the top. The next key thing is you need to have those conditions treated by a doctor. And that treatment's consistent, you're following up, you have all your conditions treated ideally. And then that brings you to the bottom right, where despite the diagnosis and the treatment, you have limitations that prevent you from working. Those could be physical limitations, so where you're not able to sit or stand or bend or stoop or climb stairs or, lift a gallon of milk. And then in the middle, you'll see there's medical records. So those limitations need to ideally be in your medical records so that when Social Security looks at you to see if you qualify or if you're still eligible, they see each one of the 3 steps. They see that you have a diagnosis, they see that you're being treated for it, and that you have limitations. A lot of people miss the mark because they're not in consistent treatment, or they might very well qualify, but they don't have their limitations aren't clearly communicated. So that's the bottom line that brings you from the bottom right with the 3 into the Social Security approval into the bucket of money. So if you don't have all those, or if you want to understand more about how to get those and you're going through the approval process, when you join us as a member, we have a two-part strategy. We provide you with a disability approval course where you can do it all for free and go through the approval process. We give away all the answers. And for those of you that don't want to do it on your own or wanted to, consider having it done for you, you can reach out to us and discuss that option as well. But here at the Disability Digest, we give all of our information away for getting approved and what you're going to hear about in a few moments. And it's up to you to execute it and make sure it's done right. And if you don't want to do that, then you can reach out to us and we'll help you with it. That's our business and how it works. Okay. All right, let's get on with the show. I have some more props in a minute, but I want to get started first of all and just set the table on this. For those of you that are disability recipients and Medicare eligible, this is the setup time of year, right, Philip and Daphne? What you do right now and what you get locked into in the open enrollment season is going to put your benefits in place for next year. Yes. So first of all, Daphne, I'd like to start with you. Like, what are some of the changes that people may go through, say, throughout this past year that may impact their benefits going forward?
Okay. Brian, I wrote down a few things here. Perhaps you got married, so you added someone to your family, or you could have gotten a divorce. That means you took somebody out of your life. That's a big change. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you could have added other family members like kids, or you could be taken care of a mother or father, taking care of someone else, because now with the COVID, a lot of people have started to move in with each other because of the prices. Not only that, but the prices of the houses are going up as well.
Right.
You could have moved. That's a big trigger right there. Mm-hmm. And when you move, you want to make sure that you always let the Social Security know your address. They're very big on that. Maybe your medication changed. And I can tell you there's some people that have over 20 something medications. And then once they go to a pharmacist, the pharmacist can go over that. And next thing you know, the pharmacist can get that down to maybe 12 medications and not 20 medications. So there's always a change in your medications. Every year you want to look at that.
Okay.
And maybe your doctor left the network. And that's a big thing. A lot of people love to follow their doctors. And then when the doctors leave the network, they like, I need to find another doctor. I need to find a specialist, right? And just normal changes that you go through that sometimes you feel, I just need to review to make sure that I'm getting all the benefits that I should be getting.
Okay. I have a question for you, Daphne.
Okay.
Or more like a situation, right? Let's use an example of somebody is married. They unfortunately separate or get divorced. And their spouse was working, but now they're a disability recipient and they have a check of $1,350 a month, which is the average check that we see here.
Right.
What are some of the possible benefits that they would be able to obtain because of that?
Okay. There are benefits of getting their Part B premium paid for by the state. There's a possibility that they will get automatically get the extra help program with their medications. And normally that is under $1,500. So those are some things that they would get. If you wanted me to go through a list of different supplements that they can get with the plan, is that what you're looking for, Brian?
No, I'm just looking for creating some awareness for people that may find themselves, one, single, with income under $1,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a common threshold. So what you're saying is if that's the situation, then their Part B premium, which is the $170.10 would be
paid for by the state.
Paid for by big savings.
Mm-hmm.
And their medications?
Yes, the medications up to, and it depends on, it's called low income subsidy. Mm-hmm. And it depends on what level of your subsidy. You can go from the 100% all the way down to 25%. Mm-hmm. So that depends on, whenever you get your medication, depends on what your medication is going to cost you.
Okay. What about access? Because, we're going to get into this in a bit, but I want to make sure we do cover today if somebody is Medicaid and Medicare eligible, right?
Mm-hmm.
How that works.
You get into special programs.
Okay.
It's called Special Needs Program. Mm-hmm. And therefore, they have one that's for, if you're dual eligible, which is for Medicaid and Medicare recipients. And then there's the other one, if you have a chronic disease, like the kidney failure, the diabetes, the heart disease. So those are things like that. So with those special needs programs, you're going to get additional benefits and you're going to get a real special care with those plans. Okay,
great. Let's pivot a little bit on this over to Philip. What can you share with us, Philip, about your experience with special needs plans versus traditional plans that might be helpful for the audience out there?
Yeah, just to use me as an example, diabetic, kidney failure, heart disease, and some of the plans like Daphne was talking about, they're called CSNPs, chronic special needs plans. And in those, they're geared more like being a diabetic, your medications, insulins, to help pay more. And there's other there's other things you can do, talking about medications and pharmacies and being able to afford your medications. A lot of the insulins are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways to help out with that also, because a lot of right now the insulins are, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, it's a C-SNP, the insulins are $35 a month, period.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of people can't afford $35 a month. You know, there is a lot of people on disability where their income is below $1,000 a month, so they are trying to stretch that penny.
Right.
But anyway, you can. There's ways to apply for patient assistance programs to help pay for those insulin.
Yep.
And even some of them are free.
Mm-hmm.
Companies like Lilly manufacture, Novartis, there's all kinds of programs that you can apply for if your income is below a certain amount that you can get approved for and get those medications free.
Okay. I want to come back to that, Philip, because I have a couple of props that I want to share with the audience. So if you're getting pinched by medications, perhaps this could be a solution for you. So what I've heard is a few things. Is if your income is below 1,500, then you have access to some special benefits. If you have a condition like we talked about diabetes, what are some of the other conditions that might access special plans, Philip?
The heart diseases, COPD conditions, MS, multiple sclerosis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All chronic health problems. The diabetes leads to a lot of problems like heart disease, kidney failure.
Yeah. Okay.
The probably the diabetes is the biggest, and a lot of people out there don't know about these plans. And the diabetes one is probably the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
Because the percentages of Americans out there that are diabetics or borderline diabetics is pretty high.
I just actually did some work on that this morning. It's 28.7 million Americans have diabetes, which would mean that their A1C is like 5-ish or so.
Well,
I think it would be much higher.
Yeah,
pre-diabetic is 5, 6 is
anything above 7 is bad.
Yeah. Just for those of you listening out there, a few things. If you're wondering about these plans, like you're hearing, C-SNP, D-SNP, next week is the last of the how to maximize your benefits. We'll be here every week and answer questions for you, but we're actually going to show you next week how to go on to Medicare.gov and show you the traditional plans. Like when you look in your zip code, you see the traditional plans that are available. These plans, you have to do a special search to find plans for those that are Medicare, Medicaid eligible. Find plans for conditions. So you'll learn about that next week. So mark your calendar. Also, while we're going through our program, Jam has put some questions up in the chat. If you would address those. And of course, we're going to take some time at the end of the presentation today to answer any questions for Philip and Daphne relative to your benefits. Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about some of the common benefits, not to, presume that they're common, just so everybody knows what some of the core benefits are that people may want to make sure that they check out during this period. And just a heads up, folks, the plan that you're on right now is in place, but the new plans are being released on October 1st. So if you think you're in a good spot, or maybe you are, there could be a better opportunity coming up and you don't know until you look. So Daphne, if you could, like, what are some of the common benefits that we want to make sure that people are aware of?
Okay. One of the main ones that I get asked about a lot is, do they have dental? So most plans have dental, and most plans have vision. And vision is very important because most plans have free vision check for the year, right? And they give you about $100 to $300 or so to go towards glasses, contact lenses, things like that. So you have that. You have hearing, and it's just amazing how the hearing can change. It's like I went to the hospital, and when I came out, one of my ears I couldn't hear that well. And I went to the doctor, and he said that one of the bones were not working properly in my ear, but it wasn't bad enough to get the hearing aids. So my plan does provide for the hearing aid. Okay. Gym. A lot of people ask us about the gym. There's Silver Sneakers program, right? There's so many different gyms out there that is associated with the Silver Sneakers program. And you can always find that by going to silversneakers.com and putting your zip code, and you can find out different locations of gyms around your area. Over-the-counter benefits. I just got a big box of over-the-counter products sitting in my my room right now, and I'm not going to go into them until I'm exactly ready to start putting the stuff everywhere. But you get over-the-counter benefits, and some of the plans give you a tremendous amount of credits. Some of the plans give you a few, but one thing I can say, use them, because a lot of the plans now, if you don't use them, you lose them. There was a time when they will let you accumulate, right? So a lot of plans are not letting you accumulate those credits anymore. Okay.
Can I pause you there for a minute? For those that may not be Medicare eligible yet, more on like on what the shopping credits are. Like you have, like, how much could one commonly get, and what is it that they could commonly buy, Daphne?
Okay. Let me give you an idea with mine, right? My provider gives me $368.
Wow.
And that's for the quarter.
Okay.
And I can truthfully say I cannot spend it all, right? And my husband hates for the box to come because he's like saying, where we're gonna put this stuff. And the stuff consists of toothpaste, cough medicines, right? Feminine products. And there's a lot of things that have to do with the scarring of your skin, the patches that you can use for pain. I use a lot. There's things that assist you with your sleep. It's called sleep aids. I use a lot of those, the sleep aids. So there's a lot of medications too that people take. And a lot of times they give us a list of medications, and we know automatically that those are not medications that you get from a pharmacy. Those are over-the-counter benefits over-the-counter items that you can use, and you can use your benefits to purchase those things.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I got boxes at home too. I can't spend all the money on it.
Wow.
Vitamins, lotion.
Yes.
It's all, anything you could get at a drugstore other than
Exactly.
prescription drugs, you can get OTC.
Right. No beer and cigarettes though, right?
No wine, nothing like that.
Not unless you barter it.
All right.
But it's amazing that they do let you get things that are not even in your genre, meaning that they have kids vitamins in there that you can get. So I normally purchase a lot of vitamins and send them home to my nieces and nephews.
Okay.
So there's not, I mean, you don't have to just stick to things for yourself. You can get things for family members as well.
Right. Right. Okay.
Sock, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yes. And one of the things that's very common now is called the food cards. A lot of the providers are giving people credits on cards, and you can use those to purchase certain food products that they will list for you. There's one card also called the Flex card. The Flex card can be used for your dental, to pay for your dental, to pay for your glasses. So even to pay for rent, they give you so much Flex dollars on that card. So that's been very popular. Mm-hmm.
So this Flex card, like truly a Flex card, in some instances, it doesn't sound like there's any restrictions on it.
No, very little restrictions on the Flex card.
Wow, it's like extra money.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It is different. If you can use it towards so many things within your household. And like I said, you can use it for your dental, your vision. When you go into the doctors, you can pay for that. So it is a very good card that these providers are giving their members.
Okay.
One of the things people ask me about a lot of times is there a chiropractor? Can they go to a chiropractor? And you do have that. And you also have acupuncture. If that's something that interests you, you can get acupuncture, and it's just a variety of items that you can get with the providers.
Okay. Daphne, there's a lot of buzz out there, and I'm just going to pull up a prop here on this buyback, Part B buybacks.
Oh, okay.
Can you speak to that?
Yes, the Part B buyback. Well, like Philip used himself as a example, I'll use myself as an example. The Care Plus plan has it too. And there's a lot of providers out there that have the Part B premium buyback. And basically they will give you credits towards your Part B premium. The one that I'm looking at right now that Brian just put up, they're giving you $130 towards your Part B premium. That's like giving yourself a raise. That's $130 coming back to you in your funds that you get from the Social Security Administration, right? And all you have to do is deduct that from the $170.10, and you've got a big credit there towards that Part B premium. Yeah. My plan gives me $120 towards my Part B premium, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. And that's one of the main things that I look for my clients when I am looking to help them, and in a way to see if there's plans out there that can give you money back, but also make sense in giving you the money back. There are some plans that give you money back, but then they take it away from you in other areas. And so we have to balance that sometimes to see if that's really a good plan for that client. Is that client losing out on having to pay so much more for a specialist and getting a few dollars here in their Part B premium buyback? So those are things that we have to look for.
Plan strategy, right? So
yes.
If you're looking to get heavy on the Part B buyback, the Flex card, the food card, what I'm hearing from you is that may show up and increase or be offset.
Exactly.
And maybe your specialist is you're going to be paying more for that, right?
Yes, exactly.
So for somebody like, let's say somebody doesn't need the doctor a lot, like they've got a very definitive condition, like they're blind, right? Or they've just had like major back issues with the fusion, and it is what it is. So in a situation like that, then one could consider going heavy on the incentives.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Just looking at my notes over here. What about the HMO PPO difference? Do you have any things to share, either of you, about the pros, the cons, what you should look for? Maybe you're in an HMO and you think you need to go to a PPO.
Well, I have to say that the HMO has been improved. The networks are so big now that a lot of people can find all their doctors in an HMO. And HMO, a lot of people don't like the HMO because they have to get a referral. But a lot of times their doctor, once you get that one referral, they will keep that on record for you so that every time you come into them, you're not having to bring a new referral. You've got that referral on. Yes, I was listening to my heart specialist the other day, and there was a client that came in there and she said, oh, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get a referral. And he said, you mean I have to leave now? She said, yeah, we're going to have to need a referral from your doctor. It was great that the doctor was in the same building, but she said, once you get that one, we'll keep it on file. And I was like, oh, I thought you had to get one every time. So there are some doctors that are very flexible in that respect. The PPO, most of my clients that love the PPO is that they can go to any specialist that they want and not have to worry about getting a referral from the primary care physicians.
Right.
And even when you sign up for plans, you really don't have to have a primary care physician when you do a PPO plan, right? It's good to have it on file. Otherwise, the provider will give you a PPO, a PCP, and you can get stuck with that one, or you can change it. You can just call in customer service and have them change your primary care physician. So the flexibility with those programs, the PPO plan is a lot greater, and they feel more comfortable being able to travel out of the state, right? With the PPO plan, that they can go to any doctor that accepts Medicare.
Right. For those of you listening out there, we're talking about Medicare Part C mostly in these benefits. And you might be wondering, well, how does a Medigap or plan fit into this? We're not going to cover those today. Last week we had Mark Snearowicz here, and he broke down the whole alphabet of Medicare, and you can go back to listen to that. And the reason why we're not focusing on it is, I don't know, I'd say 94% of the people here at the Disability Digest are on Medicare Advantage plans because of the price for a Medigap solution. And also the medical underwriting that is required. Now, it is applicable for some, but it's just not something that we're going to cover. And actually, there's really no extra benefits or extra plans. There isn't any of that. Dental, hearing, vision, food. You don't have any of that with traditional Medicare. And also, don't forget about Jam and the questions she has put in the chat. And we're going to take some individual questions at the end here before we wrap up. One more thing, well, not one more thing, but the next thing is for both of you, like personally, or advice that you have for people on the maximum out of pocket. Like, is that something that you find is important to people? Anything you could share about what to look for?
Very important.
Extremely important.
Philip, you want to try? Go ahead for that.
Yeah, the using myself as an example again, I've had triple bypass surgery. I've had kidney transplant. When you go in a hospital for something like that, major surgeries, and you run up an extreme high bill with the Advantage plans, Medicare Advantage plans, you have a cap of maximum out-of-pocket expense. The one I'm with now, United Healthcare, my maximum out-of-pocket is $6,500 a year.
Mhm.
Now, if you run up if you go in and have heart surgery and you run up a $160,000 bill in a hospital with traditional Medicare Parts A and B, you're going to be on the hook for that 20%. Medicare pays 80, you pay 20. So that 20, you're 20% if you just have traditional A and B. That take 20% of $160,000, that's a lot of money. But with a Medicare Advantage plan, I'm capped at $6,500. So I'm not out of the pocket. And it's not just your hospital that attributes that $6,500. It's your office visits that all tally into that.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So it's an extreme advantage when you have those type of problems. Now, not everybody, has those big bills or spends that much time in a hospital, but it's a peace of mind knowing
Oh, yes.
that's not going to be out of that kind of money out of pocket.
Oh, yes.
Well, it could be a car accident. It could be
Yeah.
COVID. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not always a chronic illness. So.
But Brian, when I'm doing my comparison of plans
Mhm.
for my clients, that is one of the main things I look at is what my client will be paying out of pocket, the
Mhm.
max that they will be paying. And I'm looking at I want to get the lowest amount and the best plan for them.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'll just go back to my visual aid here. This particular plan has $2,750
Right.
for the year. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
It's those two items right there looks very good. The $130 and the $2,750.
Yeah,
That plan's starting to look really good.
right. And there's no deductible either on that.
Right. Zero.
That's another
deductible.
thing to look at, right?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Co-pays.
Might have a medication deductible and you might have just a general services deductible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is great information. Okay, so Philip, you were just talking about all these different services that you've had, and we talked about the coverage that a Part C solution, Medicare Advantage solution, finds.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it sounds to me like it's been able to meet your needs. Has there been situations or challenges that you've had where it hasn't met your needs and things that people should be aware of?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 9 with each plan and coverage and not having to worry about going to have something done or go to a doctor and know that it's not going to cost you a fortune. So yeah, the C plans are, in my opinion, the best that you could have. Now, you want to do your research and do your homework and make sure you can get the best one you can. But yeah,
I agree.
the
Philip.
plans are the best, I believe.
Right. What about, do either of you, or do you have a suggested strategy to prepare for that rainy day when you may have a medical event or a year that you might get into hitting your out-of-pocket max? Do you do a monthly savings? Do people do that?
Do they do monthly savings?
Yeah, like an HSA. So
Yeah.
when you do need to, have that out of pocket used, that you have funds for it. Is there?
Well, it's very difficult for a lot of our clients to save money because a lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck. But just knowing that you're not going to have to pay $100,000 versus $3,000 or so, and there are different plans that they will work around for you to pay a minimum amount every month until you can pay that amount off.
Oh,
And
really?
then there are also plans, hospitals have plans too. They have grant money. They have foundations that support them. So you can always check into that as well to help pay for that maximum out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there's not a way to even plan for that rainy day, because when I got COVID, I never knew I was going to be in the hospital 28 days. My bill was over 500,000.
Oh,
Yeah. And I don't think I could have paid that if I didn't have my max out of pocket.
you'd be trading and bartering a lot of vitamins to try to pay that off.
Yes. Bartering, yes.
You might have to move up to a higher category of like narcotic to pay that
You're
off.
right.
Yeah.
Whoa. Cool. So we're going to take some time to address some questions, but for those of you that are listening out there, oh no, I know what we want to do now. I almost forgot about this. This is key. Philip, you had said that we would spend some time and digging into some of the details about what to do if you have expensive medications and you're familiar with, you've done this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put up on my screen a program here. Okay, so this is from Lily.
Lily Cares, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So tell us how this works, Phil.
If you, and a lot of us do, you know, we're on a lot of medications, like Daphne was saying earlier. I'm on 16 different medications, and a lot of those are very, very expensive. Even with insurance, you know, you still have your co-pays for your medications, and you still can't afford it. It's still very expensive, like being a diabetic on insulin. If you can't afford the insulin, if your medication, like with Lily Cares, they handle Lantus, Humalog, Tresiba, Trulicity, and you can apply for what's called their patient assistance program. And if you meet financial recommendation or financial status under a certain amount of money, you would be eligible for their patient assistance program and actually get the medications free.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a long list of medications, and that not just in Lily Cares or Lily Manufacturing. There's all the different manufacturers, and they all have patient assistance programs that you can apply for.
Okay.
And most people meet those financial requirements in order to qualify.
Right. So I'm looking here, if I understand this right, Philip, like group 1 through 6, well, group 1 being the lowest, 40,000. So common disability recipient, single individuals probably getting around 20, 22, 25,000. So that could have a lot there.
Yes.
Right. So I guess, is it the process to check and see if the medication is covered and then apply? Is it simple as that?
Yeah, just go online and Google the manufacturer, find out who the manufacturer is.
Right.
See if they have a patient assistance program.
Yep.
And you can find the application, and in the application process, it'll list the medications that are covered under that program.
Wow.
And you can say it'll save you a ton of money. Peace of mind. It gives me a peace of mind knowing that, and they do 90-day supplies. So every 90 days, they automatically send you a new supply for the next 90 days. Right.
Well, this is great.
Now the other thing
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do they call it, Daphne? A formulary
Exception. That
exception.
means, yeah, they're gonna go in and change that medication. They could possibly change it to a different tier, which
Yeah.
is make it cheaper. We get a
Yeah.
tier 1 versus a tier 3.
Mhm.
So to be able to help you get the medication. There's my doctor just recently, I went and they gave me about 4 packs of the Eliquis because my Eliquis is like $400 something for 90 days.
What?
And I told them I couldn't afford that. So they gave me the supply of that, and they said that if I could check with the providers to see if they can get, like, I can get discounted. So there's so many ways. And I want to also add, Brian, while I'm thinking about it, we checked into this company called Simple Fill. Simple Fill has people get grants to pay for their medications,
Right.
and it's also a patient assistance program.
Okay, nice.
Mhm.
And it's you need to research everything. I mean, not just diabetic medications, but also, like, I'm a transplant recipient. My anti-rejection medicines come from a different manufacturer,
Mhm.
and they had a patient assistance program, and I checked with them, and sure enough, I qualified for it, so I get those medications free.
Good.
And anti-rejection medicines are those tier 4 medications, and that's the highest evaluation in the formulary is a tier 4,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I get those free.
Well, I'm in hopes that this saves people thousands of dollars. A few things before we move on to taking some questions. Here at the Disability Digest, if you join us as a member, you have access to requesting a benefit review. And a benefit review is a free service where you fill out a form like what's on the screen right now. Let us know if you're approved for your disability benefits, if you're on Medicare, Medicaid, what your check is. A lot of these topics that we've covered. And when you fill out that form, it allows us to take your information and put you in touch with a benefit expert here so that we can help you at no charge go through, evaluate, or understand what you're on because you filled out the form, and then evaluate your options as to what might be available for you. In some instances, you're on a plan that's great. You just might not be using it right, or maybe you don't know what your options are. But for the reviews that we do, it is common on average that we find that $3,300 and something of annual additional benefits are available to people. So this could simply mean moving from one plan to another in the same company because they just released a new one. Sometimes you need to move and pivot into with another company. These are your choices, but unless you explore your options, you don't know. So around this video, the replay, there'll be the ability to join us as a member and the ability to request a benefit review. One of the other things that we do add is you get to meet with us personally and go through and we do the evaluation for you. But if you do choose to enroll in a plan that is suggested by one of us here, then you are eligible for our benefit protection program, which you probably never heard of. And this is a program where when you get your continuing disability review, or God forbid you get in an overpayment situation and your benefits are threatened to be terminated, we will work with you through the process. We will show you what to do to fill out the forms, how to respond. You have access to our legal team. This is of no charge. And the reason why we do this is as an agent or licensed insurance agents, the Medicare companies pay us to manage and make sure that you stay on your Medicare benefits. But in order to do that, you need to be on your disability benefits. So that's where the benefit protection program comes in. So you get access to people that know the options and can help you go through and sift through all this. In addition to that, you get a benefit protection program if you go through with an option, kind of like a disability coach. So those are some of the things. So look around the video. Of course, after this is done, if you're watching this live, because you want to hang out and hear the questions that Jam is going to share with us. So first of all, Jam, if you would, what were the answers to the survey? Probably I could see some of it over here. I was just curious.
Yeah, most of them are worried about the reviews.
Okay.
And yeah, Vicky Basham says she is overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Yeah. All right. Well, so there's 317 out there and the majority are concerned about the reviews. The reviews are a real deal. If you've been following this channel or watching or looking at the comments in the YouTube channel, you'll see that, I mean, it's actually happening to people. And according to the budget and the numbers and the projections, there will be 55,000 people will lose their benefits in the next 12 months as a result of a review. So just follow the work that we do to prepare and do the best you can do to protect yourself against the unfortunate event of that happens. You can beat these CDRs for sure. All right, so let's see. Are we on to questions, Jam, or is there anything else with the survey?
No, but we have 52% who answered on our poll. 52% are approved.
Okay. All right.
Total of 73 votes from the
Okay.
viewers.
So the other 48 are somewhere in the haven't applied and waiting, applied and denied.
Yeah,
Right.
25% applied and waiting. 11 applied and denied, and 12 have not applied yet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, as a reminder, we encourage you, the best way we can help you for those that are not approved yet, or even if you are approved, is to join us as a member or update your membership, work with an advocate here, get the Social Security Disability Approval course, understand what lessons you need to complete in there to maximize your chances of winning. That's definitely going to help you out. Okay. All right, let's move on to the questions.
Right, so first one, this is from Vicky Basham. I received a letter that says it will start in February 23. Do I need to do anything?
February, I presume
Oh, sorry, 2023.
that's Medicare, right? In
I
February?
believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely take action now because the plans that you're going to have access to, Vicky, will be out in the first part of October. So for sure, you can either use the information from last week, this week, and next week to do it all on your own, or reach out to us and we'll help you go through what your options are.
Right, this one's from Indie Space. Looks like there's going to be an intensive effort to purge recipients from the rolls.
Purge meaning like
get them off.
Yeah. It's interesting. I just read something yesterday, a report from Boston College who does research on those that have gone and been taken off of benefits for the reasons of a CDR. 50% of them went back to work. And of the 50% that went back to work, they were only able to sustain work, but it was below the poverty level. So when you read into that, it's like, okay, well, you're taking off the benefits because you're viewed to be that you're able to go back to work. But as you know, that's showing, and my numbers might be a little off because I only read it once, but it's something like that. It's just people being taken off of benefits for the reasons that they're better. You know, I think the problem is you just need to make sure that you do what you need to do to stay on your benefits if you indeed cannot work. So you're doing great, Jam.
Thank you. This was from Scott. Has been an SSD for more than 10 years, now in survival with dialysis, and actually want to convert to regular Social Security.
All right. Anybody else want to answer that one? What happens when you reach full retirement age?
What's the question?
He's
Not
looking.
sure. No question.
I think Philip's got it.
Okay.
If you're on disability, you reach full retirement, your disability just converts to Social Security retirement.
Right. Right. And your check, Philip? Check them out.
Check stays the same.
Yep. No need to convert. Auto convert.
Automatic. You don't have to do anything. You just go from status of disabled to retired. You're still disabled, but they
Right.
consider you retired.
Is that at the age of 65 or 66?
Well-
66 and a half or 67.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be different for depending on when your full retirement age is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Because
Perfect.
normally it's like 66, but at 65 you're getting Medicare.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Just,
a lot of people are not retiring until like 70 now.
yeah, I don't plan on retiring. I'm going to be here forever. Hey, just for you folks out there that are reaching the full retirement age, disability recipients, a few things. One is you're no longer subject to continuing disability reviews. And you can make as much money as you want.
Yeah. That's probably something we should have talked about also, was if you're on disability, and you said it earlier, the average check is around $1,300 a month. Well, in today's economy, who can live on $1,300 a month?
Right.
So what I'm getting at is you can still get out there and do something, work a little bit, keep your disability benefits. You just have to be careful. Most of us aren't going to go out there or most people on disability aren't going to be out there digging ditches and mowing lawns and doing things like that to get us in trouble. But you just have to be careful on the type of work you're doing and how many hours you're putting in a week, and how much money
the 970, staying below the 970.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to, we have to do something to help supplement our income because we can't make it.
Yep. Well,
And we help with that too, Brian, right?
what's that?
For them to help them find the things they can do.
Exactly. So here in these live events in July, we broke down a bunch of different things that members are doing successfully. We covered like YouTube stations, websites. They're going to work for ticket to work programs. We covered freelancing, where you take an existing skill and you work 2 or 3 hours a day online through Upwork. And that's actually going to be released in a course format. We have other ones coming up, mystery shopping, donating plasma. These are other things that members are doing. So from all the way from the low end of just lying down and having your plasma taken to things that are more engaging, to like mystery shopping and writing reports, all the way up to doing that. So yeah, we have a bunch of information. And if there's somebody out there that's got something that they've done, like somebody said the other day, you have a truck, do some scrap metal. There's different ideas that you can contribute to help make a difference. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, this one's from Ronald. Had medical exam Saturday, waiting on results. How long did it take from now? Thanks. Or what do I need to do as of now?
Oh, the how long question.
Yeah, that's a
Roll the dice.
Yeah.
Don't really know, right? I mean, it could be ideally 2-3 months from the time that you have an independent medical exam or sooner. The challenge is there still isn't any consistent predictability. I don't know, Philip, in your Facebook group, if you're seeing things different than that, but
no, and that is a typical question I get every day, at least 30 to 40 times a day, is how long is this going to take? I applied in February and I'm still at 32% on the website. I have to say, well, like you said, roll the dice. You don't know.
right.
And it depends on the part of the country you're in and the DDS office that it's at and how many people are working on it or not working on it.
Yeah.
There's just no way to tell.
I'll give you one thing that slows up any case, and it's not the Social Security office. It's just one example of what you would learn if you're going through and using our course. Is that, let's say you have 5 doctors. You entered in your application and those put in the 5 doctors. So Social Security is then going to request medical records from those 5 doctors. Well, if they've only received them from 3 doctors and 2 are outstanding, they're going to wait. They might wait 30, 60, 90 days. There's your delay. Now, if you're using a representative has access to your case file, and they can see real time how many doctors are in there, how many have been requested. So they can work and manage that process. If you're doing it on your own individually, you need to be calling your case manager. You have all the medical records? Got all the medical records? That's one thing that can help you make sure they have everything they need medically to evaluate. What you don't want to have done is you don't want to be hammering them for an answer if they only have 3 out of 5 medical records because they don't have the whole picture. That's going to get the case likely denied.
Yeah.
All right, this one's from Chrissy. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Jim.
Okay. Since she was approved, she has been diagnosed with more chronic conditions and am further disabled. I am less able to function. Memory is worse. Hands don't work well. Legs go numb. Do I add new illnesses? And I already take 13 medications and have a service dog, which is very expensive. I'm on hubby insurance, so I didn't get additional Medicare. Hubby has good income, but not enough for my health needs by far.
Okay, so approved, concerned about keeping benefits with a service dog, right? Did I get that? Okay, so about adding your conditions, yeah, definitely. And follow the other work that we have about how to communicate with your doctor. I'll back it up a little bit. You want to be journaling, keeping track of your conditions, and then keeping track of your limitations, your physical, your mental limitations. And then you want to be communicating those to your doctor, bring them at every appointment. I just learned the other day, there's certain patient portals where you can actually communicate directly and insert things into your medical records. It's a whole big development with medical record reporting. So you want to do that with your conditions so that you're accurately reporting everything. And that will help you get those into the records. So if you get a continuing disability review or when you get it, they can see the development of what's happened with you, okay? With your service dog, if it is expensive, something to consider is following the work that we do and finding something to supplement your income. Your dog becomes a write-off. Just found that out about 6 months ago. For anybody with service animal, it's a tax deduction because it's a necessary, what do I want to say? Necessary something or other that's going to help you or enable you to work. Resource, asset.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're working part-time, if you're on disability and working part-time and you have a service dog, that expense can go towards, if you're earning over the SGA amount that's allotted, then your deductions, anything you can deduct is a business write-off, and that dog would be a business write-off to bring that SGA down.
And for those of you out there crushing it, I don't think you can get like 5 dogs to bring down your income. I think
No.
it's one dog write-off.
All right. This one's from Betty, BJ Pergola. Once approved for SSDI, how long before direct deposit occurs?
Depends when, if you were approved at the initial application, reconsideration, that falls into one category. Or if you went to a hearing, it's going to be different. The hearing, it could take 60 to 90 days. There's some other variables in there that could impact it. If you have like a workers' compensation case, or if you are Medicare, if you're Medicaid eligible as well, that could cause a delay. So you can reply with like where you're at, and if you have any of those, and I can fine tune my answer for you.
All right, this one's from Luana. Thank you, Brian and Jam and guests, for helping me understand my disability approved results and what questions to ask so I can get the most from my benefits for 2023.
Is that a question?
No, just thanking us.
All right, you're welcome.
You're
And
welcome, Luana.
yes, good to have you here.
Yeah, I see her every Wednesday mostly.
I know.
Yeah, this one's from Luciana. Have appointments today with Dr. Mental Health. Statement.
All right, good luck. If you have a question, yeah.
Jason, sorry, arrived late. What program? I answered that, sorry. This one's from Penny. They said the judge haven't made no decision and it's being processed. What to do? What do that mean?
Well, you went for a hearing and the judge hasn't made a decision. It does take some time for judges to write decisions. And there's also could be situations where the judge goes on vacation or has personal leave or other things that disrupt it. So you have to be careful when you're in this zone, because if you're pushing on the judge for an answer, you know, if you need to give them like a 90 days. And if it's beyond 90 days, it's time to politely start asking like what's going on. But to push them for an answer, to force them to make a decision, I wouldn't recommend rushing them until they've had their like necessary time.
Don't kick that sleeping dog.
Right. Some of the decisions that are written are like 3-4 pages. I mean, they do put some significant effort into communicating the decision. Yeah.
This one's from Jamila. I've been in reconsideration since January. I emailed my lawyer, my physical limitation paperwork from my doctor, and my homeless letter.
Mm-hmm.
No question.
Just a statement.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's actually, I mean, you're at since January, so we're at 9 months. That's like excessive, I'd say. I don't know what state you're in. Some states are still subject to COVID, but the only thing I can think of is I'd follow your attorney's guidance. If you're going to be homeless, there is some leverage that you can use with that. If that should be used.
Yeah.
Not saying it's going to be effective, but it definitely should be used.
This one's from Michael. Is there a time limit for getting your back pay?
No. No, there isn't. I mean, they don't, I've seen back pay held up for over a year.
Oh,
That I
This one's
know.
from- This one's from Todd. I'm 100% disabled veteran and they denied me. Gonna circle back around.
Right.
Statement.
Okay, I'll just speak to that. It's not easy to get veterans approved, even if they're 100%. And I've spoken out on this. If you're a veteran and you're going through the disability approval process, there's some obstacles that you have. One is the VA. That's where your medical records are, and it's how those medical records are handled. Two, it's often on a lot of veterans and how they communicate or don't communicate the true severity of their conditions, because you're taught to play hurt. Then there's this whole other, like, I'm in this networking group where we've had this conversations before, and there's a lot of judges that are ex-veterans. And this is just feedback that I hear. If you go in front of a judge that's a vet, you might think that that could be favorable for you, but there's some that are like, you know what, dude, I'm out here working, I'm a vet. Why can't you work? Plus you're already getting your VA compensation at 100%. Denied. So you just need to make sure that you do it absolutely right. We just had, like last week, we had Navarin, who is a 55-year-old veteran, 100%. We were successful at getting him approved, and that was exactly it. He was great to work with. He had a very supportive spouse, and we just went through and nailed it. And that's what you got to do.
All right, this one's from Warren. Don't forget that you can negotiate with the hospital after Medicare Advantage plan pays on a bill. I
Mhm.
did and was able to reduce the balance due to financial hardship.
Mhm.
I'm only 3 years away from full retirement age. Is there truly a probability of a CDR during that period?
I am so caught up by the first part, I forgot about the second part, but I didn't know. That's a great strategy. So if you, let's say that your, what do we say, $2,500 was the max on this, right? So that's your max. So you can go into the hospital and negotiate on that. Cool.
Yeah, that's also going to the financial office and getting the grants and things like that too.
Okay. All right. All right, Jim.
How about the second part?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was asking, he is 3 years away from the full retirement age, and is there truly a probability of a CDR during that period?
Yes, I've seen people. You can go through our YouTube comments. There was a 64-year-old that was reviewed when she was 63 and 64, and she wasn't working.
Wow.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, my totally approved decision from May, the judge stated review in 5 to 7 years. Will I be reviewed before that?
Nah, there's no guarantees that you won't, but that 5 to 7 years is pretty reliable. Yeah.
Okay, this one's from Kathy. I couldn't respond to the poll. Oh, wouldn't let me respond. I'm approved. It's just letting us know.
Okay.
Congrats, Kathy.
Got time for two more, I'd say. It's 1:30 now. Yeah.
All right. This one's from Robert. Oh, sorry. First, Vicky first. How much can you make a month with disability?
All right. Who wants to answer this one?
Me.
Can't,
The easiest.
It's
It's the easiest.
the easiest.
970.
Yes.
970. Right.
that's you 970 and not trigger a CDR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then is that 970 if you're an employee Or is it 970 if you're, what if you're like an independent contractor, or
Yeah,
how's that
it's,
work?
it's net of your expenses.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm. And also, a lot of times they forget that the amount of hours that you work also,
Right.
to keep that
Yeah.
within the 20 hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good.
All right. Last one, Brian.
Last one.
All right. This was from Robert. You may have answered this already, so I apologize. I've been on disability for 3 years. Should I go through a course and or talk to an advocate for the possibility for a CDR?
You can always talk to us.
So approved is wondering if should go through the CDR course. Is that the question?
Yeah.
You can, if you're a member here, you just request it, we'll start it. If you get a CDR, we'll send it back to you, or you can save it, get you the updated version. I think the key is, and let me just address the CDR course. If you're out on our YouTube just watching free stuff and don't want to join us as a member, totally fine. There was an extensive how to survive your CDR interview course with attorney James Mitchell Brown, industry legend. There's 10 segments of that we released 4 on YouTube. But if you want the full deal as a member, if you don't have it, you can request it. And it comes and walks you right through like how to prepare, what happens when you get it, how to fill out the forms, what happens if you get denied. And if you get denied and you can't get it resolved on your own and you want legal support, you have access to that as well. That's if you're not in our benefit protection program. You're in our benefit protection program, we got you covered. Okay, that's it. That's a wrap. Hey, Daphne, Philip, thank you so much for taking
You're
the
so
time.
welcome.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
yeah. And Jam, excellent job as always. And I thank all of you out there that take time out of your day to come out here and spend it with us. For me, it's an honor to do this work for you. I'm in hopes that you found this helpful and understanding what you can do to get your benefits a little bit in the beginning, but really that chunk in the middle, there's some like big savings opportunities and things that you can do to make sure you get set up. And if you'd like our help, just look around the video. You can join us as a member, request a benefit review. We are here. Now, just one last thing on the benefit review. We have the capacity to work with 120 during this Medicare season. And we have 92 slots available from last week. When we have those filled up, that's all that we're going to be able to deal with. So if you'd like our assistance, want to get on the list, we can't work with all 178,000 members, or there's 33,000 on YouTube. We can work with a few of you, but just want you to know that's why we give all this information away, so you could do it on your own if you want to, and if you don't, we're here. All right, great. Thanks again. We'll be back next week to get into the how-tos. We'll show you Medicare.gov, the plans, how to take your plan, look into Medicare.gov, find other things, tie all this together. So come back and join us. All right, everybody. Make it a great day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys. Thank you.
Y'all have a blessed day.